Hello everyone, it's DanDo3D back again with a shorter tutorial. This won't be as long. Pretty much it's just me going over how I do graphic t-shirt designs on already existing clothing. So let's say you really want to add like some cool graphic t-shirt design. I've got one ready. So I've got this picture of me and a cool logo, some words around it. So the two files I've made just preparing for it is the color version and then the alpha version, which we can use as the mask for later. So in Photoshop, you can make the design and then just pretty much key out the black being not the design and white being the design. So you got those. I'm going to import those really quickly into Substance. So that's now in. We have these two. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a fill layer. I'm going to group this really quickly and call it Design. And I'm going to put in the color. So after you've done that, let's orient it to where we want it to be. We'll also want to turn off repeat, so none repeat, so it's just that. I want to put it like that size. Yeah, I think that looks good. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to actually put the mask on the group. So I'm going to right click to add bitmap mask. I'm going to get the shirt mask, put it on, and it will be the wrong shape and size compared to what you've done. So I'm sure there is like another way, and if you know how to, please put it in the comments. But to get the exact coordinates or the same shape and size as what the other thing is, what I do is I literally just copy and paste over the details that I've done on the color like this. And then now it's the same. I'm sure there is another way, and if you can tell me how to do it, then that'd be awesome. But that's how I do it. So now you've done that, most people at this point would go, that's more than fine, that's done, you've got the design on there, what else do I need to add? But what we're going to do is just make it feel a bit more believable. So what we're going to do first is we're going to add some warping. And warping is something I like to use a lot when I do texturing. I think in general, warping, the warp effect, will just give it a more realistic feel, a bit of displacement in there, a bit of irregularity, just making it feel more authentic, because in life there's always going to be little errors, and nothing's going to be perfectly clean along the way all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a add filter on the mask, and we're going to get warp. There we go. So it looks pretty shit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to source parameters. We're going to turn up the source tiling quite a lot. And now it just looks even worse, but we're going to turn the intensity down to where it's so slight. Like, yeah, that's fine. It's only 1.004, but I think if you look from here, the difference is quite noticeable. We can do another warp, but on the color. So what we're going to do is go over here, to the actual color, and we're going to go over and add a warp onto the actual color. So add filter, warp. Again, it's going to look really shit. So we're going to turn up the source tiling and the intensity just a teeny. Yeah. So already now let me turn off the... Do I want to turn anything off really quickly? Just so you can see it a bit better. It just looks a bit more real. And then again, you might be going, well, that's done. But one last thing I like to do is I like to create a underlying fill layer under the design. I'm going to set it to black and turn up the roughness all the way to the top so it's nice and matte. We're going to right click on the mask of the layer, copy mask, right click onto the black layer, and do paste into mask. And also, we might need to quickly turn off the tiling, so it's none. Then, what I do is I go to the top of all the filters, and I go filter, and I do blur. Now, you might notice there's a little bit of like a dark edge to it. To be honest, you don't need to do this, but I feel like when you add that little bit of dark underneath it, it just kind of gives it a bit of distinction on top of the base cloth. It just looks cool, okay? It just looks cool. Okay, so one last thing is pretty cool. We're going to actually go back here and we're going to go over to the filters again and we're going to add some fill layers. And this is going to be really cool. We're going to add some grunge. There's not really a rhyme or reason with it. Actually, what I can do really quickly is show you a good example of how it can be used. So, for example here, you can see that there's like cracks in the actual design sometimes. I don't know if you have like an old graphic t-shirt like a few years ago, and you'll see how like the actual chipping of the design will slightly fuck up over time. Same thing here, you can see obviously it's chipped away. It just happens when you wash it a few times. Same with this, you can see it's kind of chipped away. So what we can do to really easily replicate that is, if we go to grunge, let's see if we can find a good one. There's not really a specific one. I wish I could be like, oh yeah, use grunge map 35. There's probably a lot of ones here that you can use. So I'm just going to pick one at random and see how we can use it. This one looks good. It is wood, but fuck it. Yeah, sure, we'll use this. So I'm actually going to hold down Alt and then click on the mask itself so I can see what's actually being affected. So we're going to go over to the actual filter layer and we're going to go through them. And I think it should be subtract. There you go. So already you're getting that nice kind of feeling. Ooh, nice. But it might feel a bit too much. So what we can do is actually go down into the balance and contrast. I'm going to set the contrast up a bit. And the balance I might bring down just a bit. I feel like the shadow, the dark thing we added at the bottom was a bit too much, so I might just bring that back a teeny bit. So it's not too much. There we go. Again, at this point, you might even want to add another one. So we'll go here again, duplicate it, and we'll add like... We'll add that one. That looks good. I like this one. Ooh, that's nice. So now, feels a bit chipped away. Looks very cool. And then, literally, one last thing, and then you can go. Add a paint layer. We're going to go down into our alphas. And honestly, any of these work. This one's quite nice. Set it to black, and just go in and chip away at a few things. This is if you really want to make it look like it's aged. Just go in, chip away. Again, it doesn't have to be this amazing thing. And I know you might not have a lot of time on your hands and you just want to get it done. I understand. Just chip them in like that. And already it looks a lot more nicely textured compared to just shoving on a fucking color. And that's it. And that's pretty much it. There's not really too much to it. And again, you can add more. There's so many things you could do to make it look really cool. As a little bonus, really quickly, one thing I like to do, and I'm sure there's a really smart way of doing it, but this is how I do it. I do a new fill layer actually in the mask. In the group, sorry. Set the height all the way to the top. And we're going to go over to the mask of the group. Copy mask. Paste. Mask. Then I'm going to go here. Invert the mask. You're going to go, what are you doing? And I'm going to go to the fill layer. And I'm in the mask, filter. And then blur. And then I just set it like that. And I go back to the height, and then I just make it a bit fun. So what you're going to see is happening now. You're getting this very subtle kind of height at the edges of the actual design, which makes it kind of look like it's peeling off, which is kind of cool. But I don't use it too much because, you know, I don't know. Either way, that's what I do. And that's it, really. Thanks for watching, and yeah, bye. Thank you for watching.